Hello, folks. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Plucking Petals podcast with James and Kyle. As always, I am Kyle.
And I'm James.
As we go a little something like, little something like this.
It's all about the good, bad, love, hate.
How are you feeling today, James?
Horrible. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling just as bad as you are. We went to Mohican for the weekend. Well, one day. And I severely injured myself, and you saved me in a canoe a couple times.
Yeah.
We went canoeing, and metal canoes aren't my friend. I'm
so
not good
how
at
many
this.
times did you end up tipping over?
Oh boy,
in the end?
I ended up tipping 3 times
Okay.
with my girlfriend. It was the first time she went camping with us, and we have a metal canoe. And guess who's not good at canoeing? 1, and guess who's not good at metal canoeing? 2. Metal canoes, for those who don't know, are horseshit, and they're old on purpose, and they don't
So
last well.
I've been in a kayak every other time we went to Mohican.
Yeah.
Do they offer non-metal canoes? Are there different options?
But we went because it was so busy. They only had metal canoes. So, I'm bad with segues today because I'm hungover. We have John Dick Winters today with us. How are you doing?
I'm great. Better than both of you.
That's awesome.
Easily.
Dude, here, like
I got a good night's sleep. It was a beautiful drive in today.
That's wonderful.
Had a smoothie with carrot juice this morning.
This is some of Ohio's best weather. It doesn't really get
I've been
better
to
than
Ohio
today.
before.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm well aware.
This is really nice. But yes, we had a lovely time camping. I am all bruised up. As you can tell, I have bruises and cuts and all
Just
that
tell people
jazz.
it's from sex.
That's right. Yes, it's totally.
And I have
from
a big
smooching.
bruise on my left thigh here.
From my canoe.
From
'cause
Kyle's
he
canoe.
'cause He tried to save me. I find that.
So one time we watched Kyle spill.
That was
And
was.
then me and our buddy Joe, we were paddling real hard to try and catch up. We were trying to beach ourselves so I could jump out and grab your shit that was getting away from you.
Which was very nice, and
We tipped over and we were doing that. So in like a panic, I grabbed like all of our oars, all of your oars,
Yeah.
the life jackets, and your canoe filled with water is just barreling down on me. I'm like, oh, dude, this is a giant metal object full of water. I can probably stop this.
Fucking hurts
Just
so
right
bad.
in the leg.
I ended up losing my flask. I have a flask that I got from Florida when I was down there visiting people that had a crocodile on it. It just said Florida snack time. I don't know why, and I lost that. It's full of Maker's Mark. So whoever finds that in there, that's what that's full of. So I'm very fucking pissed.
That's okay. You got a bottle of Maker's Mark over here that's,
Exactly.
also full of Maker's Mark.
Exactly.
So it's
I
no
keep
big
it
deal.
stocked on purpose. That's my life. But that was my go-to drink for the evening. But yeah, so I'm all bruised up and hungover, and now we're here doing a podcast on a lovely Sunday evening and whatnot.
I didn't mean to hijack back to our camping. Why
That's
don't you
fine.
take this opportunity
Yeah,
to
tell us
really
about yourself.
Tell us what you're about.
What I'm about?
Yeah.
I'm just
What are you into?
not camping.
Neither are we.
Not a big camp fella. Let's see. We could go real deep philosophically, but I think what you're referring to is why I'm here.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do both. We have time. Literally, it's a free podcast.
That's
can
very true.
We can do whatever we want at this point. So.
I'm a completely unknown touring stand-up comedian, and I'm attempting to change that. So I've been touring like on the independent circle for a few years.
That's awesome.
And so this tour, I don't know how many tours I've done, like 8, 10, 12. I don't know what it's been.
Yeah.
But it was since the summer of 2013, so 4 years.
Okay.
And so this tour is the first time I've ever booked a bunch of podcast appearances.
Okay.
So so the logic being like, I'm doing like 20 or 25 shows in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'll see, dozens of people will see me. Literally dozens.
Yeah.
So
There are dozens of us.
Welcome to comedy.
So the logic being that like if I hit these podcasts in these cities, I'm in really cool towns, Cleveland and Detroit, Minneapolis, and everyone has a podcast scene. So like I'm just trying to get myself out there and get out to like thousands of people, meet some cool people and different connections. I don't know.
Cool. I can
use
dig
my
it.
downtime better because usually I'm just like in a coffee
Just
shop
hanging
watching
out.
fucking Parks and Rec for the 13th time.
And like that's fun, and I appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I didn't have that available for you here. We had to talk into microphones. It's kind of what we do. Holy shit, that's wonderful. What are so you're gonna be playing around in the Cleveland area for the next couple days?
Yeah, I'm at the Grog Shop in Barrio tomorrow night, which is Monday. We're recording this on a Sunday, you said. And
Yes.
then Actually, I had a show in Dayton, but then I may have a story about that. I got canceled
Perfect.
because the guy's insane.
Awesome.
I could read you some messages if you're interested.
Yes.
And
So
then-
you probably mean like really emotional, over the top, insane, and it's never like the aliens came, we have to like burn it.
No, there might be something like this guy is unhinged.
tin foil?
Yeah. No,
Perfect.
yeah, he's definitely unhinged. And then I head up to Michigan on Wednesday.
That's wonderful. So you're doing Hilario Barrio then. And
So
then you're doing
ours will come out. Our
Accidental.
podcast will come out just in
Yeah,
time for you
perfect
to
time.
not
Perfect
be
time.
in Ohio anymore.
That's
well,
what we're
shit.
good at.
But if there's anyone else listening in Ohio, I will be in Columbus August 18th at the Rehab Tavern.
There we go. I like it. Now, what kind of stand-up do you consider yourself doing? Are you more story?
I just do Chris Rock bits.
Oh, perfect. So you're a cover stand-up
Actually,
artist, which I don't know if that exists. And I really hope it doesn't.
I'm really well known for there's a war in this war in the country. It's between black people and no.
Listen, the thing is,
No, that's a great question. I get asked that all the time, and I like the real answer is that I feel like I'm still very much evolving.
That's good.
And the generic answer is that
that's the answer I want, though. Is that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
evolving.
I there's not really good. Like I haven't defined my style or who I am as a comedian. I'm only about 6 years, not quite 6 years in.
Yeah.
Which is like. Going through stand up is very similar to going through high school. It's literally the exact amount of time. You don't
Yeah.
graduate stand up like until 12 years in, and then maybe
Yeah.
you go to college.
Yeah.
Like it's the literal amount of time it takes to get good at stand up. So I'm
Gotcha.
still
Well, it's
very much in grade
the
school.
10,000 hour rule, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
do-
Sure.
That
I
definitely
made up, but I
applies.
made up my own one, and I like my analogy
Yeah.
better because it's more tangible. Than
You're not in high school for 12 years.
Sure.
Not
no,
with that
but
attitude.
you graduate high school after 12 years of school. That's
I
what I'm
gotcha.
saying. So I'm saying that I'm still in like elementary school in my stand-up career.
Gotcha.
You didn't let me finish my analogy.
It's I
But
like it.
to be a generic, it's observational, it's personal.
Good.
It's not overly offensive. Like I try to be somewhat thoughtful. It is definitely on like the progressive, socially aware side of the spectrum. Like
That's
not
good.
like preachy, but like my beliefs come out in certain jokes because that's the perspective I'm coming from. It's not like you're not gonna like it's not like a daily show like progressive like topical kind of stuff, but like it will have like a sex positive angle, a feminist angle.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like preaching certain views, but
Yeah, but that's-
my
but that's
jokes
part
are
of your
coming from
life.
this perspective. Yeah.
Good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it. James, I got some fan mail for you.
Oh, sweet.
Did you know that? We always get fan mail here. You can always email us at thepluckingpetalspodcast@gmail.com. This is from, the subject line is Fellow Flat Earther. This is submitted by William Martin. He's also not verified, but it came out this year, so it was June 10th of this year. He says, just before listening to the podcast, this is outstanding, record-breaking podcast 4. I don't know what even that means. I sent an email challenging Jacob Russell, the reporter from Washington Post, to watch a flat earth proof video. The substance of the email was invoked due to his poor and biased reporting of you being a flat earther. I didn't know you were a flat earther. So I set him straight
like it.
for you. I'd like to forward copies of his emails to you that I sent to him. If only I knew where to send them. I think you would enjoy them. ... First off, he emailed us,
Okay,
so
that's
I don't
good.
know. I didn't know you were a flat earther.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't
I
know how
only
he
came on
picked
this
it up.
podcast because you were a flat
Yeah, that's so. I sent it to John before he came over. Like, how do you feel about this? He's like, I'm for it. So
No, yeah, it is. The Earth is actually completely flat. And the reason that a ship looks like it's kind of going over the edge of the Earth
It's
is
an
because it
optical
is.
illusion?
And it actually sits on the back of 4 giant elephants that are sitting on the back of a giant turtle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
is that one Terry Pratchett
That-
book you
that-
rattle on about?
that is all Terry Pratchett books.
Gotcha.
That
I'm
is-
not personally a flat earther. I don't really have any. I don't care about that. But I am a flat chester. I just prefer smaller breasts.
That's fine. Everyone's
Yeah.
got to have preference,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. I'm glad we now know that up front. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Are turtles involved? If not, I'm not really interested.
Even if they're breasts.
No, just turtles.
Oh, just
turtles
turtles?
all the way down.
Turtles. That's
I'm not anti-turtle. I'll say that much.
James. Do you have any fan mail for me? We're good.
No, I'm
Perfect.
sorry.
I like it. No, we're just gonna move on because we're both fucking hungover today,
Yeah.
and that's how we're doing things. John, let's talk about the problem that you are bringing into the podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, You have opening remarks, whatever you, however you want to do this, buddy.
Sure. I suggested that we talk about sleep apnea,
Okay.
or as I prefer to call it, dream diabetes.
Okay.
Yes, this is a problem that I've had forever, and I remember I didn't realize I had a problem until I was seeing somebody a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Yeah, well, I'm not bragging.
Congrats.
We were sleeping together, not having sex. We had fallen asleep together.
Oh, okay.
And then she woke me up aggressively at like 4 a.m. and told me that I had to go because she couldn't sleep. And we had just started seeing each other, and it wasn't like, hey, sweetheart, you're kind of snoring kind of loud, and I can't sleep. I have work tomorrow. It was more along the lines of, hey, man, you sound like you're going to die, and I really don't know you that well.
And I really don't want to have to go to court over this.
Yeah, I don't want to have to move.
meet your family.
If a guy that I met off of OkCupid last week dies in my bed, I have to move, and honestly...
I set up a good base here. I got a career going.
That's not what I want to deal with right now. So if you could please go, it's 4 a.m.
All my friends and family live here. I can't. Changing addresses take a lot. I just don't know. But yeah, so do you use like the machine? And
I don't.
Whatnot?
It's technically it's not even diagnosed because I don't go to doctors.
Gotcha.
But I 100% have sleep apnea. My father had it.
Yeah.
And he'd be here to tell you about it, but it caused a heart attack when he was 62.
Jesus.
Yeah, sleep apnea is a horrible thing. People it's not just snoring and stuff
So why don't you explain what it
It
is?
ruins your heart. Sleep apnea. Thank you. Sleep apnea is a sleeping disorder where you literally stop breathing in the middle of the night. And when that happens, so you don't die, you just stop ingesting oxygen. And I don't know if you know this, guys. Very important. Oxygen.
I had an inkling.
Yeah, oxygen is very important. Breathing is very important. And you stop breathing, and essentially, it makes your heart work harder to pump oxygen to your blood, so it goes in overdrive. That happens 2, 3, 4, 5 times a night. And over a span of a lifetime in adulthood, you take 20 years off your life. It ruins your heart.
Why? So because of the start-stopping motion, it just kind of
Well, because you're putting because you're not breathing, so you're not getting oxygen, so your heart works harder at night than it should be. You should be resting and just regulating things. Not only that, sleep apnea is it's like a snowball kind of effect because you aren't sleeping, so therefore you don't have energy when you do wake up. Therefore you're sluggish, and that can cause weight gain, which it certainly has with me. And then
that's actually a self-compounding problem.
Yeah, it is exactly what it is. And so you don't have the extra energy to exercise, and it's hurting your heart already. It's a horrible thing, and people just think it's like you're snoring, like you're literally killing your own heart.
Jeez.
There are actually two kinds of sleep apnea. The first one, I'm guessing what you have, is where there's actually a physical obstruction. It happens more in males, more in people that are a little overweight, more in people that are over 40. Mm-hmm. It could also cause like deviated septum and stuff, but it's literally the airways being blocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
My personal one is my jaw basically closes my throat at night because of the way I sleep.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But then there is a second kind where like the actual part of your brain that sends the message that's like, hey, keep breathing, doesn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would your
that
body
one's a
try
lot
to
less
sabotage,
common, but
why would it
that
try
is
to
I
sabotage
don't know.
yourself like that?
I don't know.
I feel like the one good thing I've done in my life is that I'm constantly breathing, and I do it. I do it pretty well. And the best part about breathing is I don't have to think about breathing.
I've been crushing
Except that I am
the
now.
breathing game.
I just been straight slaying this breathing game straight up.
Dude,
and
I am the Kanye West of breathing.
You don't even know where I come from. The streets of breathing.
I'm kind of a breathing smith, and
an aficionado. Well, the one guy that we were camping with last night, I swear to God, he had sleep apnea.
Oh yeah, we have a good segue for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a gentleman probably died 15 times over the night.
I've heard that about myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I've seen like in those
It scares
really
me.
old school cartoons with like Bugs Bunny and stuff. Hey, he's asleep, and then they just cut to like old timey dudes like sawing a log in half to
Yeah.
represent the noise. It was like that,
Man.
and then occasionally like a real stuttering, and like it sounded like he was going to die. And
It's not the
pauses.
snoring that's the problem. It's when you stop snoring. It's just like these
Exactly.
long pauses. Like what?
He did that a couple times last night,
And,
and I freaked the fuck out.
And I don't know about. I know certain people have this like. It hasn't happened to me in a while, several months. But I'll wake up like choking and I can't breathe. Like I wake up like because I had just been not breathing, but I'll wake up and I feel like.
Uh-oh.
Who is here?
I don't know.
I hope that's food.
I don't think that's food, but they just.
That's a very aggressive knock.
It was.
It's my parking. No.
You guys keep talking.
It might be my parking. I parked in front of the other house.
Was it in the free space though, like in the parking zone?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be an issue then.
Maybe. What's going on? I'm kind of recording a podcast right now. It's all good. What's going on?
This is interesting.
Yeah, I just want to.
Oh, I think it's people they know.
Yeah.
Probably knows. Yeah.
Who knocks like that?
That felt very like, hey, I need to get your attention
That
because.
was a police. Like,
Oh yeah,
or
or the
on
like,
fire,
or like I thought
urgent.
maybe from the knock you did park in the person's like living room or
No,
something.
yeah. And that actually reminds me, I was in I was lucky enough to be in a house fire last year.
Okay.
And it was my neighbor's house had caught on fire, and my house was then on fire, and I was taking a nap in the afternoon, and I woke up to pounding, and someone was pounding my door to get me out of the house, and that's what that sounded like. But there's clearly no fire.
Jason, is the house on fire? Or not Jason?
I
Kyle
am
is the
Kyle.
house on
Hello,
fire.
I am your co-host, and I've been with you for this long, and I make this podcast happen. Yes, my name is Jason. Go fuck yourself. No, that was Josh and Ruby. They stopped by to say hi. I wanted to get food.
Cool.
And that scared the shit out of me.
That's
Yeah,
how they
we were
knock
just talking
on
about
the
that.
window.
That was because they probably rang the doorbell and I didn't answer, so that's probably what it was. So
Most people will knock on the door.
most people will just text.
That's also true. Yeah, people don't. You don't just go up to people's houses anymore and knock.
No, I think the problem is not the problem. He lives like a block over, so
No, that sounds like a huge problem.
yeah, no, it is. It is. Now it is. It scared the shit out of me. What are you guys up to? What's new? What are you guys talking about while I was gone?
I was talking
Well,
about
apparently-
a house fire I was in.
Hell yeah.
Apparently, I subconsciously wish I was podcasting with Jason.
That's
so
fine.
Sorry about that.
He's just as
there's
interesting as I am.
a Freudian
so-
slip over there. Yeah.
You were in a house fire, though.
Well, yeah, I was in a house fire last year. Not bragging.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't really sound like it, but you can make it brag. That's fine.
so my neighbor's house caught on fire, and then the fire came over onto my house, and I was napping at 5 in the afternoon because I'm a professional stand-up.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Anyway, but I
work on the
woke
night shift.
Yeah, but I woke up to just this and someone pounding on
Oh.
my door, and that's exactly what that sounded like. But that guy just wanted to get Steak and Shake, and
That's
nothing
right.
was wrong.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's Jesus. I apologize. I'm not cutting any of that out. I don't think.
How dare you?
I'm gonna. This is my lack of editing effort. So the sleep apnea machine, does that actually work out pretty well? Or
I don't have one. I don't know.
I've seen because my sister's boyfriend has one and he uses it on and off, but he's also because it's like a mat. It's like you have to put on a mask or whatever,
Yeah.
and sometimes it falls off.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
he's fucked.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I'm gonna. I chose sleep apnea because this has been on the forefront of my brain for a while now, and I'm trying to make an overhaul of my lifestyle, food and exercise and all this stuff.
Yeah.
To combat it. So there's a few other things besides there's diet and weight loss. Obviously, is the first line of defense.
Yeah.
And then there's a few other low tech solutions, and there's a mouth guard you can use that is like a breathing mouth guard. It'll
That
for
can't
me
be
personally.
comfortable.
No, but it's something
So
that
it does the op. Is it push the
Opens it.
well,
teeth open,
no,
or-
it's just like a sports mouth guard, except for there's a little kind of slit for breathing, and it just for me it will hold my jaw in place.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna
A fun prank would put like a kazoo.
yeah. And just put record and see what we get.
Yeah.
It'll be the new kind of jazz.
That's the new summer jam right there.
Sleep apnea is kind of like jazz. It's all about the breaths you don't take.
I
Okay,
like
that was a good joke.
Yep, that was solid. That was real fucking solid.
So yeah, I have some low tech things before I get to the point where I want to get a sleep apnea machine, a CPAP machine. Also, there's all types of problems. They fall off. They cause disease because you're just breathing in them all night. So
Yeah.
They're germy.
They're germ factories. So there's and then you're dependent on a machine, which is not. I'd rather kind of just die in my 60s, to be honest, or 50s, or whatever
that's
it
fine. Hey, whatever. That's fine.
then have to deal with that machine. But they also
Yeah.
make a mini sleep apnea machine, like a travel one. So
Okay.
the technology is getting better. But before I do any of that, I need to lose literally 100 pounds. So-
Gotcha. Well, everyone's got baby steps. We all have goals.
Yeah.
and whatnot. So, Jesus,
All right,
I'd be so
75
afraid of that.
pounds.
That's fine. Let's make it a little more realistic here. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, I fucking that stuff. Last night when we were camping, I woke up in the middle of the night and I could hear him. I went to the bathroom at some outhouse or whatever, and I can hear him from the outhouse. And I took a 5-minute walk.
It was probably every single campsite could have heard him.
And there was no other. I didn't hear anyone else snoring. It was just him.
Well, and because that story I told you about that girl, which is a real story, I have horrible anxiety about sleeping with people or around
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I
You know,
understand.
I sleep in my. If I'm like things are going good with a girl or whatever, I'm like, well, I'm not. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, it's 11:30, gotta go.
Yeah, you can stay here, but I'm not going to because I'll just lay here awake,
Yeah.
terrified that I'm going to keep you awake.
Exactly. You should probably invest in like good earplugs for your dates.
I have them.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I have. And
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I have a thing that I stole from a venue that I perform at. Just
Yeah.
a whole thing of unopened earplugs.
Are they on you like your like by your dresser
They're on my
bed
desk,
or
yep,
whatever?
yep.
It's like right next to that and all the condoms,
Yep.
like just the classic like
You're-
stupid movie
you're
trope.
Not even making that up. That's absolutely what it is.
I can't. What can I say? I like film. It's fine. Any other closing remarks for sleep apnea?
Oh,
What do you got?
don't get it.
Don't get. So you'd say
mean-
you wouldn't recommend this sleep apnea deal? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. James, what about your problem for this? What did
Yeah.
I already forget what you told me.
It's
Uh,
definitely not
to
his
do.
hair. That's
No.
great hair.
Yeah. Actually, I'm still just thinking about. I love the idea of a cover stand-up comedian. Like,
I think that'd be fun.
yeah.
Well, I mean, people do like one-off shows of like dead comedian shows where people will go up and like be their favorite dead comedian or whatever. But as far as like Hannibal Buress does a great joke about it. You know Hannibal, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's the riff-raff joke.
yeah, he was like. I've seen a rapper at Riff Raff, I guess, and he put on his like favorite Kanye song, just up on his own show, jamming to Kanye. He's like, I can't do that in my show, and he actually does the Chris
Yep.
Rock, the
Yeah.
bit that I said, because that's where
Yeah.
that came from.
Yeah.
And he actually does that exact joke. It's
Oh man,
so funny.
Yeah, I saw him do that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, he
It's
puts on the Chris
fucking
Rock bit, and
great
Chris
show.
Rock says something, and he's just like, I agree. It's brilliant.
He's like, you guys should add music to your set. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
living
yeah.
the dream. It's wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So if you were gonna do a dead cover show, what comedian would you cover?
Oh, I'd be George Carlin.
George
I
Carlin.
mean, that-
I would be George Carlin, the first 10 minutes of 1996 Back in Town, which is the best hour of comedy ever made.
Okay. Okay. Do you have one? I know you don't do any of this.
I
Kind of stuff.
mean, I was gonna say George Carlin.
That's
but-
fine. I'd probably do Mitch Hedberg. He's probably one of my
Everyone
favorites.
wants to
Oh,
do Mitch
God,
Hedberg,
I
yeah.
fucking love Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like something I definitely. I'm so sad that I did not get to see him live. It's like a big.
He's really bummed about it too.
Yeah.
One
yeah.
thing he wanted to do before he died
Is
was for
come see
you,
Kyle.
for you to see him.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't care about seeing you.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, God damn.
Every night he's just out there. I don't see Mayor Wertz.
He's like pulling the curtain. He's like, where is he? I put that seat up there next to Dad. What was your problem again?
I
totally
think it
fucking
was
forget.
free to play
Okay. So
game
you want to explain that?
economies. Yeah, so it used to be you go to the store and you buy a video game and then you go home and you play it.
Yeah.
So they introduced this concept of free to play games, which I think was a good idea at the start because you know, not everyone has money to try every new game, but
Yeah.
the way it's set up, you get in for free, but then you pay money to kind of unlock more content or kind of get more like a user-friendly experience.
Yeah.
And essentially it's kind of just turned into gambling and then just like milking people that have that addictive personality for money.
Well, yeah, their target demographic is like 12-year-olds that have their parents' credit card that keep buying shit.
Or just like people that can't help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is, especially like one of the most popular scenes is freaking CSGO.
Yeah.
The game, regardless of what the game's like, the way that you spend money in that game is you buy a key for $2.50 and it gives you a random thing inside. And it has an astronomically small chance to just give you a knife skin that
Is worth
doesn't
like,
do anything different than the normal knife.
It does not.
But people spend so much money on this, and there's actually a large amount of like streaming content that are just like watch a guy open boxes. You literally just watch a guy or girl gamble for like an hour.
And now there's gambling problems because of those things too. Like a bunch of big streamers and like big just esports people like went down because of they're doing fake gambling websites and shit like that. Like
So all I can add to this
Yes.
particular conversation
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that I still play NBA Jam on Sega Genesis.
Do
Yeah,
you?
that game's amazing.
Yeah.
That game's great.
That's
Why would
the
you not?
only game that I play. It's the only game system that I own.
Okay.
And it was only because it was recently given to me.
And it's only okay. I was just saying, like, well, you so don't have any other games. You just play
No.
NBA Jam.
Yeah,
So it's,
I
is
don't
it
play.
stuck
Video,
in there.
video games aren't part of my life. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But
I
yeah, it's
understand.
the only game that I play.
So you don't
but,
play
like,
any games like on your phone or anything.
No,
or, gotcha.
not at all. I'm more of like a chess cards kind of guy. And,
Okay.
but like you're saying that this is like really exploitative now. And
Yeah,
just-
it's like they're just really trying to hit that like gambling aspect because I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, it's completely cosmetic. No one has to do this, but people are spending all this time looking at it. They keep making more and more like cooler ones, and then there's that like thrill of like, oh my god, this one could be the one where I get a knife. Oh my god,
it's walking into a casino at that point.
That's the Price is Right. Let's see what's behind door number 3 mentality.
You said you like chess though.
Yeah.
I recommend. There's this free game that I play once in a while.
Is it called chess?
No, it's called Really Bad Chess.
That's also called chess.
Yeah, but every game, both sides, you're playing against a computer, and all your pieces are randomized. So sometimes you can get 3 queens, and just like it's all fucked up.
What?
It's so much fun. It's such a good fuck around game. I'm not good at it, but it's all randomized. You still get 2 rows of stuff, but it's all fucked up.
It could be anything.
The only thing you'll have is obviously a king because you needed to play the game, but like that's everything else is fucked up.
It'd be awesome if that
fuck
just,
the patriarchy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be weird if that wasn't built in, and just occasionally you go to play and you don't roll a
like,
king,
oh,
and it's
God.
like you lose. Like it's just over.
And you just pay money to get into it. Yeah, I mean, I bought stuff on CS:GO because I was drunk and I made YouTube videos and whatnot. So
there's like the Overwatch, so this is even in like a premium game
Yeah.
where it's like you pay $40 or $60 to get it, and then you spend money on
it's
opening
just
crates.
It's just a good way to have companies take more of your money.
So that's why, like, the whole free-to-play thing, I like it. I mean, I remember there was a game called PlanetSide 2 I used to play. It's a little shooter, and you could spend money on stuff that you got, like new guns, whatever, that weren't necessarily overpowered. They were balanced pretty well with the ones you could get for free.
Yeah.
But it's just the temptation is there where it's like, well, we could make it really balanced, but if we just kind of lean it a little toward more getting them that little extra incentive, you catch those people, they call them whales that just spend shitloads of money on your game.
I mean, they do that in Vegas. They do it on the internet. They do it everywhere. I love it. I love gambling. I think gambling's amazing. I'm not good at it. I don't know how you guys play cards. You said you used to play poker professionally, so
And I don't anymore.
Yeah.
To give you an insight of maybe how that went.
Did you travel and do tournaments then?
I never did tournaments. I was always just cash game. I played tournaments online because I would do opposite. I would do tournaments online when I played online, and then I would only do cash games and casinos.
Okay.
Because tournament casinos, the structure of tournaments online is much better than live. They're much faster.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
Do
The
they
second
up
your
the
table
ante?
ends, you just add another table.
Yeah. So
awesome.
whereas a tournament in the real world, in the brick and mortar, it could take hours, days. Like it's insane.
It's not like
And
worth
then,
your
like,
time and money then.
So so then the opposite is true online. It's so crazy playing cash games online. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then plus you're not there, so you lose a certain amount of like intuition by not being at the table. So
and you can't like read their face.
Yeah,
and
I would
stuff
only
like
play
that.
cash games live, and I would only play tournaments online.
Actually,
Okay.
I kind of think the not seeing the person, at least for me, was a lot easier.
It
because
is subjective.
you just get used to like this person. Every time they've shown their cards, they've had like this or better.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
person's really conservative. Well, this guy to show his cards and like barely screech.
I've heard that. I've heard that argument,
yeah.
but that comes down to the individual player. Some people definitely play that way.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like if I see him, I just overthink it. Like, oh,
For
why does
sure.
he look
I'm
so
like
bad?
looking at their. I'm bad with poker face, so I always just smile regardless of what I have, and I hope that works. I just really big smile, and then that it never works anyways. I'm not good at gambling, but I love it. I've seen people online play online poker games where they play like 4 or 5 tables at a time.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I
to me.
don't have that because
That's
I do
that's
like
way
to
over my
watch
head.
what everyone at my table
Yeah,
does.
I would play
yeah.
9 at a time, 9 tournaments at a time.
Jesus. So how do you? Okay, so when you're playing 9 at a time, how do you just switch your brain over to like where or it's just kind of like you have it down? in
Well,
your
it's
system?
just a different strategy. So I would play the sit and goes, like the $50 $100 sit and goes,
Yeah.
which is like you're buying for that, and it's only 9 people, 9 or 10 people.
That was my favorite way to do it. When I
And
was
so when you're doing that, basically you're playing to get into the top 3, get into the money, and so it's a whole different strategy. You just play an extremely tight, aggressive form of poker. So you're not worried about necessarily you're playing more your cards, which is not necessarily the actual part of poker that's what the live game. That's what I would use. I would play with my players in the live game,
Yeah,
and
see what they're
online I would
doing.
play my cards, and people are gonna shoot themselves in the foot. And if you just outweight people, and then you'd be patient and be aggressive when you had the better things, you know what I mean? That was the strategy, and it's a pretty. People are so bad on the internet. That was a winning strategy for it. Wasn't you wouldn't win a ton or whatever, but you'd win more than
Well,
you'd
you just-
lose.
you
Yeah,
get
I actually like
some
made
beer
it
money.
into the money in a lot of sit and goes.
sure.
And I played for probably 6 months online poker, and I think I only ever actually won one, maybe once, but I made it to the last 2 tons of times.
Well, so I played 9 at a time, and I would make it into the money, usually at least in between 2 and 5 out of every 9, and then I would win, 1 or 2 or whatever. I forget what the statistics were, but like,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a winning strategy for that format. It's all about adjusting for whatever the format is. So that was a good for 9 sit and goes. That was a good strategy for that. But like for like a bigger tournament, I would only play like one. Like if it was like a tournament with 20,000 people, which literally happened every day.
Yeah.
You'd only pay 1 or 2 because you're paying attention. And you could almost win. You could win like 20 grand or whatever, which I never did.
Yeah.
Because you got the people that like really fucking know what they're doing.
Well, there's that. I mean, I've made it. I've in tournaments. I've definitely won. I've won 4 figures several times, but like that's because there's literally hundreds of thousands, like tens of thousands of people playing this tournament, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in the prize pool. So it's not that great. But yeah, that's I did that off and on. I did it for a full year, like paying a mortgage on it, but it was like so stressful. And then eventually I just went broke. I couldn't handle it emotionally. I was like 24.
Yeah, that's a huge way to like if you get too. It's like it's like child stars. It's kind of like they get too much money up front. They don't know what the fuck to do.
And it was also before. Now there's a casino with a poker room in Pittsburgh. This is before that. This predates that. There was like an underground like rounders poker scene in Pittsburgh. In the back of restaurants and shit. It was shady as fuck.
You go into the Chinese restaurant.
So,
say the code.
Oh no, there's a steak restaurant in Pittsburgh. Who the owners of that steak restaurant are the biggest bookies in Pittsburgh.
That's awesome
for sure. And they ran a game. It was like $1,000 buy-in, 5 nights a week. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And my advantage in that game was that I don't have any other gambling vices. I do not bet on sports. I don't even understand it.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to sports. Everyone else were all degenerate gamblers.
Yeah.
And like they're just playing poker because they could be because it was gambling.
They need to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
so it was sad because they would lend money out throughout the course of the evening so the game could keep going. Like someone would go broke and they would borrow $1,000. So I would, whoever won that night would go to cash in and they wouldn't have the cash.
Jesus.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be good for it.
Yeah.
They would give it to you eventually, but they would
that's
owe
that
you.
shady aspect.
Oh my God.
I like that kind of
That
stuff.
probably also helps you get back there. Well,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I still run into some of those guys. I haven't played poker with them in 10 years. I still run into them sometimes, and it's like, "Oh, what's up?" I'm just like,
Hello.
That sounds so crazy to me.
It was a crazy thing to go through.
That's so different than my poker experience. I threw $80 on an online account, and I never ever put any more on it. And I actually never even took it out. There's probably like $65 sitting on it right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you have anything else about the free-to-play stuff you want to...
No, I think I pretty much hit like the problem with it.
dig
I'm surprised the government hasn't stuck its face in it yet because they regulate the shit out of like the online poker. This is like an online slot machine, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And as we discussed before the podcast, they did a research study where Ohio's trying to get online scratch tickets going, and like that seems like it's a whole
I'm assuming it's just
world of
not
power.
deemed as gambling. I mean,
which I know
from what you're describing, it sounds like it's what it is. It's a really phony kind of because you don't get. At least when you gamble, there's a chance of winning money. People do win money gambling, but nothing. That's not what happens.
But to say that, like, there's an online marketplace on Steam, and this is how it feeds back to it. So if you unlock one of those knives, some of them sell for $500, $700.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and you have to do it in their Steam currency, so it goes back into. I mean, there are offline websites, but those aren't backed. Like, you might get fucked if you try to go through PayPal or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and
That's
then
how
but
they
if you
make all their money.
if
That
you
all
do it on
sounds
Steam's
terrible.
marketplace,
It's fucking awful.
Steam gets money from the keys you're buying. That's 100%. They have no overhead. It's just programming the skins, so it's being designers. And then if you go and you resell something like, hey, I got a huge knife, they take 8% off the top of any sales.
Yeah.
Plus, if you do it on Steam, that money you have to use back on the Steam marketplace. So it's just like, man,
It's a shit
They
show.
are printing.
You
their
can't
own fucking
cash out
money.
the money.
Not Steam's.
No. Yeah.
That's why, like, the really
That's
bigger
how they
ones.
get you, man. I know, right?
Who would agree to that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
12-year-old children.
No, it's I mean,
and me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not. I mean, it's been. I fucking when I was playing CS:GO all the time, I opened a few crates. Like it's just like woo.
It's just fun. I did a video on YouTube one time where I did an ASMR video where I opened 20 crates or something. I threw $20 down. I'm like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Ends up being one of the better YouTube videos I've made. Not better quality, but view count wise. People just like that kind of shit. I don't get it. It was a parody video.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm like, why is this getting play right now?
I got an AK-47 skin. I sold for $100. I left it on the Steam marketplace. It was during the Steam sale. I think I bought like 5 of my friends a copy of South Park's The Stick of Truth.
There you go. Hey, that's just called being generous.
Yeah.
And then also, speaking of video, did you see that my video is getting posted again?
Huh?
The Guy Fieri video's getting posted again.
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. I made a video of Guy Fieri eating to a Nine Inch Nails cover of "Hurt" by Johnny Cash. And
It's the other way around.
Yeah, the other way. You know what I meant. I'm
Yeah.
dying, man.
Okay.
Dying today.
Although
so
to be fair, Nine Inch Nails did say like that's Johnny Cash.
I don't want to get into that conversation again. I can't. The
Yeah.
comments
It's the
already
better
killed
version.
me.
Yeah,
The
it really
comments
is.
already killed me on that. But someone took my video and they put it. Someone does a bunch of covers of Smash Mouth's All Star, but in the tune of other songs.
Mm-hmm.
So they did "Hurt," but All Star, and they mixed my shit up again, and now it's just getting tons of plays all over
That's
the place.
awesome, actually.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Are you a Guy Fieri hater?
No, I like him a lot, actually.
I have something you need to look. I don't know if it's online anywhere, but it will be soon. He just recorded his half-hour special. I have a good friend named Shane Torres,
Okay.
who's an amazing touring stand-up comedian, but he has the most positive Guy Fieri bit I've ever seen.
I'm excited.
It's
He does a lot of
fucking
good work,
incredible.
man.
That's exactly
you got
his
me one of
point.
his cookbooks.
I
Like,
did.
I
And
think it's
a
great.
hot or barbecue sauce. I can't remember.
Yeah,
which.
barbecue sauce. It's quite good.
But
It's
yeah,
like a sriracha
his
barbecue.
half-hour special will be released probably this fall,
Okay.
and so look for that. I'm sure the Guy Fieri bit will be on it.
Awesome.
It's
Sean Torres, you said?
Shane Torres.
Shane. Gotcha.
Does he say Fieri or does he say Fieri?
He definitely says the first one
Yeah.
because he's not an Olive Garden employee.
That's his
Hey.
fucking name. Like,
When you're here
Yeah.
podcasting, you're fucking family, man. Okay, calm down. Calm down. All right, let's help some 12-year-olds. John, we do this segment in our show. It's our WikiHow segment. We go through all of the Q&A section of a particular article that we sent to you, which was like how to fend off of like animals or some shit. And 12-year-olds will ask. It's kind of like Yahoo Answers. They ask questions, and people within the community will answer them, or people who work.
why
for
do you
WikiHow
always
answer
focus
them.
so specifically on the number 12 when
I
you're
don't
talking about
know.
young
It's
people?
It's like it's a
Oh.
weird. It's a weird twitch.
That could go somewhere darker.
I
real
know
quick.
because he always says it with the WikiHow thing, but he brought it up earlier when we were
13,
talking about
I feel
something.
like is a little too old to do this. I
Okay.
feel like 12 is like a cutoff point. I think.
Oh yeah, when we were talking about the game gambling,
Yeah.
you kept saying 12-year-olds.
I don't know. It's like a thing. I don't know, man.
You're
It's
on a
so-
watch list now.
I'm on a watch list. God damn it. Here we go. All right, so here's some questions for the WikiHow thing. Why would I encounter a gorilla in the forest? That's the first goddamn
I'm
question.
sorry, which
It's like-
WikiHow one are we doing? I
Thi-
forget.
This is the one that it's like how to like fend yourself off from like animals in the wild.
Okay.
So they had like snakes and gorillas and crocodiles and I think it was like monkeys and squirrels.
Well, when you run into the animal, you have the 4 options. It's a Pokemon, bag, and flee.
item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so just flee.
I can dig it. How about what if a snake is chasing me? What
Snakes
what
don't
do we
chase
do?
things.
I know.
That is not how they do
I
things.
know. I don't understand these. I never.
What if a snake is chasing you? Then you are the Pied Piper.
Yes.
And you are a legend of sorts.
You say check what's in your hand. If it is a flute type item,
Yeah.
you're.
Please
you did
lead
that-
them all out of Ireland. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was that mice? I can't remember. Was it snakes or mice?
The rats.
It was the rats.
It was the rats. Well, no, he led the snakes out of Ireland, but I also don't think that's true. Is that a true thing? I think it's a legend.
I really hope. I wish it was true, but I doubt it. How do I escape from a coyote? I don't know. You're fucking dead. You're dead.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, you turn off your mic.
You hope.
You don't escape for a coyote.
Is that back on?
You
or
just
the
turn
levels
the-
Yeah, you're good.
You just turn the mic off and you leave. You say, "Fuck you, coyote."
Boom. you
Podcast over. You drop the mic.
That's
you
a-
Chris Rock. You Obama the mic.
So
You don't have to run from my coyote because there's only like 7 of them left because
That's
of
true.
deforestation.
There's a couple of them in this area. I know they take
There's a
small
lot
dogs.
out by my parents. I actually saw. They're very small. They take. My neighbors had rabbits growing up. They would take
Not
them all
anymore.
the time. Yeah.
They do not
He said
anymore.
had.
But I saw one with a little like raccoon in its mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and even though it was covered in blood on the face, I'm like, this is adorable. That coyote is so
Yeah.
cute.
This is where it takes a little bit of a turn. My dog swallowed Viagra. What do I do?
That's
Fucking
not the
fucking
right.
party.
That's not the right article.
This person's jumping articles, and I
What do you
absolutely
mean?
love
You
it.
make a fucking viral YouTube clip
Yeah, you
of,
put
of
you
a
contact.
4 hour long red rocket.
This makes me uncomfortable.
You contact World Star Hip Hop and you shoot vertically like an asshole, and then you just shoot your dog for the whole day. It's fine. The final question
Shoot
of
vertically like
just like a fucking asshole. I love World Star Hip Hop because I love watching people fight each other. I can't stand the vertical video. It's a huge problem of mine. It's a big pet peeve. This last question.
No, it makes sense because our eyes are like one on top of the other.
Well,
so the
yeah.
vertical video really
It's
helps.
like we're like a dumb Cyclops. It's fine.
There's a stereotype of the African American community I've never heard. No, their eyes are on top of each other. Their eyes and their nose are in a perfect line.
Mark it down now. The last question is, how do I get to a hospital if I am in the woods? Uber?
It's the same way he got to the woods, but opposite.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Back up? I don't know.
That's not a real question.
It is. It's on here. And then, okay, so people also answer them. So this is a WikiHow contributor, so the person works there. Carry a phone with you or go with someone who has one. In case you need the hospital, call emergency services immediately. But if you're in the woods, they can't get to you. Like, I mean, they can walk.
Just take the hospital with you.
Take the hospital
Yeah,
with
into the
you.
woods.
Just take a bunch of
It's right
doctors.
there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Anyways,
Yeah,
this
just
is
take an ambulance to the forest.
those dumb kids. This is what we deal with all the time. Anyways, my problem, speaking of children, is millennial hate. I am a millennial.
Yeah,
Are
me
you guys
too.
a millennial?
I make the cutoff, I believe. Yeah.
You make the cut. What's
I think
the
it's
cutoff,
in
like
the
36?
80s.
81.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been getting a lot of problems, and it's because people don't like millennials.
How old are the two of you?
I'm
You're
30.
I'm 27.
Okay.
And I work with a bunch of older people. I work at a car dealership that I'm not going to name for obvious reasons.
Is it because you've wasted your life? Because you're working
No, I make videos for them. I mean, I'm not selling cars.
Yeah.
They wasted their lives. That's the difference.
You flipped it. I tried to put you down. But
I
you're
liked
like, no.
it. You try to.
You know,
zig on me, I'm gonna
I don't
zag.
like that kind of occupational shaming. You show
No,
up,
no.
you do your job,
That's
that should be
fine.
respected.
I
They
totally
do-
disagree with that. I think we're all fucking clones.
That's fine. That's totally fine. And I feel like because I'm young, I tend to get a lot of hate towards me because I'm younger and I don't do everything that they like to do, like go to Buffalo Wild Wings or buy diamonds or not have school
I
loans.
hate the condescending articles. It's like why millennials are killing blank. And
Yeah.
it drives me nuts.
The fascinating thing about
Yeah.
the millennial generation and the complaints about them is that the millennial generation were created by the people complaining about them.
Exactly.
That's where like people complain about the ribbon giving. Like we all got participation trophies. Well,
You
who
gave them!
Yeah,
You
who
were the
gave
one-
them
I
to
didn't
us?
ask.
You created this apathetic generation. And but there's also things that the older generation about the millennials that they're not understanding, like the struggles of the millennials that they can possibly understand of financial debt, student loan debt.
Yep.
This the ever growing the jobs aren't there. Not just like the cool jobs, but like coal mining or whatever. But like there's nothing.
Can you imagine finishing high school, grabbing a newspaper, taking the first job you find, and
And you
fucking
retire
getting
from
married,
there?
buying a house, and not fucking marrying someone that like can stay home. You're supporting both of them.
Yeah,
And then
and then a
send those
child
kids
on
to
top of it.
school.
Yeah.
Like that is mind blowing
That's
for
a
us.
pipe dream for
Yeah.
me. That's a fucking pipe dream.
Yeah, the debt to income ratio is so insane, and that we're not that. The things that people complain about millennials aren't the things that we're talking about. They complain about things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Like fidget spinners. Like who gives a shit?
No.
Like, it doesn't
No.
matter. It's a
Yeah,
dumb
you had a
trend.
fucking pet rock. Get off
Yeah,
your
yeah,
goddamn
yeah,
high
yeah.
horse.
Yeah.
You put it in a cage,
young
asshole.
young people hop on dumb trends all the time. It's
Yeah.
not new.
No.
It's not new. Bell bottoms
toys.
existed and then they existed again. Like it's just like
Actually, I know I bring it up a lot, but that Adam Ruins Everything has
Yeah.
is a YouTube 20-minute special just called Why Millennials Don't Exist.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's awesome.
I need to
He
check
basically
that out.
talks about how
I
like
was just talking about this guy yesterday. I've never heard of him.
Adam
And
Conover,
a comedian
yeah.
that told me about him. Yeah.
yeah,
Good dude.
So, but he basically goes on that every millennial, every generation always gives the same complaints for the youngest one. They're narcissistic. They're full of themselves. They only
Yeah.
care about themselves.
Yeah.
and-
Then it's always right.
Yeah, because they look at it based on age. You're narcissistic when you're young, and as you get older, you start to
Yeah.
realize I'm part of a community. You care more about
This is
people.
it's just
Exactly.
the same thing.
You
happening
gain
over
empathy
again.
at a certain age.
And then
Yeah.
there's also like, well, they're so lazy, whatever. Like, we are working more hours now than any generation
Yeah.
before us, and we are taking unpaid internships like no one
Yeah,
else.
it's a different kind of work
Yeah.
because it's less physical. Because you're making videos of a car dealership, it's seen as less work
Exactly.
than potentially going to a steel mill and dying. thing. Like it's just it's a different kind of work for sure.
And it definitely changes just with age, just technology like changes how we do things. Like
I'm not sure if that's true. Actually, I think it's
well, in a way. But
No,
have you seen
that's
vertical
it's
videos?
the
They're a
norm
bunch of
now.
dicks.
I don't know if it has for most of human society, but
that is
that's
true.
what it is now. Yeah.
I just don't like it. It just annoys me, I guess. I hate those I think the problem is I saw a bunch of those articles of like you can't it's like I don't care about
Why
buying
you're killing
diamonds.
Applebee's?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to go to
darn.
a fucking restaurant that doesn't have an oven. They microwave all their food.
Yeah, Chef Mike is hanging out every
The
single night at
article
the
should be
Applebee's.
like, why don't you want to kill Applebee's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to keep Applebee's alive?
That like TGI Fridays and Buffalo Wild Wings. Like I don't give a shit.
Hey,
like,
hey, old folks, you ever notice that capitalism isn't great?
Yeah.
It's not the best thing.
you guys have been fed some bullshit your whole entire life, and now you're mad that we're not catching on
It's
to it.
it's simply history repeating itself. It's just that it's our turn.
Yeah.
We're the younger people. Or like, I mean, I've never felt as a millennial. Or I guess I was always identified more with a Generation X to put a label on it. But like people
Yeah.
complain about that shit too. It's just
They're always gonna complain.
I
Because
mean,
complaining's
Janko
fucking
jeans
fun.
were stupid, but like, who cares?
I mean, they fit a lot of cool Game Boys in there, and that
Yeah.
was pretty neat.
Get a whole 2-liter Mountain Dew in that back pocket.
Well, hold on. It's probably Fago. Let's be honest here. But what are we gonna do? It's that moon mist shit. But yeah, I don't like it. I think it's just dumb. I know it's just gonna be a cycle. I know if we ever have kids, God forbid, that I'm probably gonna do the same thing with that generation too. It's just kind of that dumb hate
I
cycle.
have kids, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Good.
It's just I have 14-year-old twin daughters, and they're into dumb shit. They like anime and dumb shit. That's what kids.
That's just
do.
what they do. Just
That's
let
what
them
kids
do
will forever
what they
do.
want to do. They're not holding up stores. Like,
do they hate gay people? No, that's the one that I was worried about. What they need to spend their time spinning a thing. That's not
that's fine.
it's not a concern of mine.
No, it's but they.
It'd
find
be cool
it
if
to
my
be
kids
some-
didn't vape. That'd be cool.
That'd
But again,
Yeah,
whatever.
you know what? We can't be perfect.
There's still worse things.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, they could be robbing.
Until
a
they
store.
invent like vape crack.
God, that's probably the next one.
I think that's just crack, right?
Yeah.
Well, but I
Just
think
in
you
a
do
different
actually have
sense.
to like.
Yeah, you blowtorch it, but it's still like yeah.
Well, this is just in one singular rig.
No,
and
so you do
and
it. And it's
and
like,
tastes
dude, I got that watermelon flavored
I was gonna
crack.
say, and it tastes like goddamn cotton
Yeah.
candy, asshole. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus. So yes, I feel like that's just a dumb thing that every generation does, and it's a huge cycle. And
I mean, with the beatniks, hippies, the punks,
Hippies and hipster,
the new
same
waves,
word,
new
yeah.
waves.
Yeah.
Then it was the skaters in the '90s and the whatever. And it's never not been that way.
yeah,
And then it goes back to the greasers and the socials and the outsiders. That's
Yeah.
those are the millennials of the day.
Exactly.
It's just that it's
just
so
different
stupid.
names.
It's not even worth talking about.
no, not at all. Not at the least bit. Speaking of not talking, we're gonna go to our final segment of this lovely podcast. We do this thing called Happy Endings, where I'm gonna have John, if you wouldn't mind, grabbing one of these. Those pieces of paper. Our good friend James, not this James, another James, wrote a bunch of bad things, and we have to kind of put a positive spin on it, like a silver lining per se. So we don't know what these are, by the way. He wrote them drunk, so.
Oh, I don't.
Can you read it?
Jason's buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, that's my roommate. Jason's Buffalo Chicken. Oh.
If I pulled that, it would have worked. Or you like either of us?
This is pretty personal.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're
I
gonna
can
try a
pull-
different one. Okay, so
Well,
also,
I can put a spin on this. It's cream cheese and buffalo sauce and chicken. What's the negative side of
He
it?
tried to do something weird. It had like a Mexican twist or something.
yeah, and it
was
didn't go
just-
well.
It didn't.
and
hit.
that's him remembering that it didn't go well. Let's
Yeah.
try this. I just grabbed another one. I forget how personal these get, and these don't make a lot of sense with people who aren't around here. Can you read it?
Indigestion that's so bad you can't sleep sometimes.
Perfect. We're all full circle. Sleep apnea, all this fucking shit. I don't know. I guess the good side is that
Hey, let him,
the
do it
good
for-
the good
yeah.
side with something like anything like this, the indigestion, diarrhea, whatever, back pain. This has actually been very helpful for me, back pain, because I've had horrible back pain off
Yeah.
and on for my life. When I'm in it, when I have this horrible thing happening in my life, I try to focus on all the times before and the time in the future when it won't be happening.
Yeah.
And then when the pain goes away, whatever that pain is, I think about how bad it was and be really happy and appreciative in the
Yeah.
moment.
That's a good way.
in a
that's-
retrospect,
how-
I like
Because
that.
no, but not indigestion. But I had a herniated disc where I couldn't walk for about 6 months in my
Yeah.
back, and So I think about that often, and I when I'm sad or whatever, I think about how bad it was.
Think about the good
and
times.
I try to, like in a moment right now where I don't have a cold or I'm not dying in my sleep and I don't have any pain, I just try to focus on good things and be very, very happy for these moments.
I like it. I'm not even gonna interject or add anything because I found it to be quite lovely. John Dick Winters, let's talk about your more stand-up stuff just in case someone flipped early and whatnot. Tell me what you're doing, what you're up to with stand-up wise and traveling and all that jazz.
Sure, I'll hit a few points. Like I said earlier in the show, I've been touring independently for a few years, and I don't know where that's going. I would like to do it full time at some point. I feel like I'm inching towards that over the years. But beyond that, back in Pittsburgh, I run a comedy festival called Burning Bridges Festival.
Okay,
it's kind of I didn't rip the idea off, not like it was invented here, but I've done Accidental Comedy Festival here in Cleveland several times.
That's happening next month.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And you have an amazing comedy scene here in Cleveland, and a bunch of amazing comedians. And I've kind of taken what they've done and I've kind of applied it to Pittsburgh a little bit. And so I do a festival there. That's that'll be in April. We'll be in our third year next April.
Congrats! That's awesome.
Thank you so much. If anyone's listening to this and they happen to be in Pittsburgh, in September, I have an amazing show. Sean Patton, who is recording his new 1 hour special, I believe, for Comedy Central.
Okay.
But he's there the week before he's going to New Orleans to record, so you're going to see this amazing brand new hour.
Wonderful.
And my most exciting new project is I'm starting in the middle of starting my own podcast with my daughters. It's called Teenage Wasteland, where the three of us have very candid discussions about things that maybe parents don't like to talk to their kids about.
Okay.
Or either don't like to talk to the kids about, like the cliches of like puberty and sex or whatever.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, or more specifically, we talk about things that parents don't even think about talking to their kids about, things like global politics and overpopulation, and all these things that affect everybody, but no one ever gives the children the time of day, even though they're the ones who are gonna have to deal with it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. Teenage Wasteland podcast.
If that's done well, that could be fucking great.
Yeah, no, I feel like
I don't know if it'll be done well.
Yeah.
We've started recording episodes, and I'm very encouraged about the way that it's going. Because so my daughters are, like I said, they're 14, and this idea came out of two places. It came out of an episode of West Wing.
Okay,
and then
always a good start.
Which I'll tell you about that episode in a second. But their mother and I are on really good terms, and so when I go over, we're divorced obviously, and when I go over for dinner, a couple times a month. Over the past couple of years, we've just been having. I've always talked to my daughters like they were adults or just like people. I've never talked out of them for being children.
Exactly.
And since they're growing up, over the past couple of years, the conversations have gotten more deep and more complex, and to the point where I'll go over. It'll be a few weeks, and just like it seems like they've grown up for years, and we just have. They say these things that I don't hear. I definitely don't hear other children saying, although I don't hang out with other children very
That's
often.
probably a good thing.
Yeah. But I don't. To me, it's a unique thing that they hear the way they're talking, and then and as a parent, I don't think a lot of parents are engaging their children in the way that we've always engaged each other. So I think it could be helpful for teens and parents to listen to this stuff.
Okay.
It could be informative,
yeah,
or it could break down some taboos that parents don't want to talk to their kids about certain things.
I understand.
But this came, like I said, the episode of The West Wing. You're a fan?
Not really, but I know. But
I not seen it all. I've seen the first couple of seasons.
Okay, there's an episode about children's suffrage.
Okay.
So there's a political group. They're 12, 13-year-old kids, and they make it to the White House, and they're trying to get their agenda heard that they think children should vote. And the argument being that children are inheriting all these problems. They're inheriting Social Security. They're inheriting the food problems.
Why wouldn't they have a say?
Why it's insane that they're not allowed to vote on it, and that logic is unflawed to me. I understand that a lot of kids aren't maybe mature enough, but I know a lot of kids are, and so between that episode kind of reminded me of my kids, and I was like, oh, I think it'd be really good to kind of talk about this kind of stuff.
I like that. Yeah,
so I'm really excited about this project, and I'm excited to. I'm pretty busy with comedy, and I have a bunch of other different things that I do to kind of to sustain the comedy. So I don't see my kids as often as maybe I would like because I don't live with them. So this I'm very excited to have a project with them, and they're fucking rad kids.
Yeah.
Oh, they love it. Yeah,
that's awesome. Do you have anywhere where you can find your material online?
Yeah, you can find all social media is John Dick Winters, but then on YouTube, if you put in John Dick Winters, I'd pop up. I have a bunch of moth stories, and then I also have my 1 hour special on YouTube.
Okay.
It's called Celebrate the Ugly Things.
Okay.
And so that's streaming for free. And then I also run a comedy collective called Race to the Coffin Comedy. You can find that on YouTube as well. A bunch of stuff.
Wonderful. James, I know you don't usually have any plugs, but what are you into this week? What's
A
I've
nap.
been playing Stardew Valley.
playing Stardew Valley? That's what my girlfriend's playing right now in the other room.
You
so.
pretend to farm.
Oh, you'd also farm.
I could, but no.
It's so fulfilling.
If
I
I owned
know
a
something.
home and had a lawn, maybe I'd have like a little vegetable
yeah.
Well,
garden.
we have
but-
those things outside, those little basket thingies. I have a tomato growing. I found out just today.
Do you know, like, America's like one of the only places in the world that has lawns? Like, that's a very
Really?
foreign thing. Like, if you go to other countries, they don't have lawns. Because
What's in
Sad.
this space?
most of the construction isn't constructed that way.
Okay.
So just lawns don't exist. But most people like have gardens or at least flowers or stuff. Like
Yeah.
up
front?
or anywhere, just wherever they have
It
space.
just mean like the housing isn't set back.
It's not. Yeah, it's not designed the way that it is in America. Cause
But if you're in not huge cities, like
those won't be. If you have acreage, that's different. But
Yeah.
like but here we are in
Talking
an urban
cityscape.
area that everyone has their little patch of grass. That's a completely American Western thing.
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah, that developed over years because like when people came over and started owning land, it's a pride thing, and it's the lawn culture in America is completely absurd because they're
so
using
it's even like packed tight. We're 5 miles from downtown
Yeah,
proper.
yeah.
Like it's that far out from
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
huh?
Damn.
Crazy.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, because it reminded me because like I don't have a space in my house anymore, but when I did, I always had a garden. But like there was a point before World War II. Before all the women started going to work because the men were at war, like 40% of America's produce was grown at home. Like
Damn.
everyone had a garden.
That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Everyone had a garden.
missed that.
It was unheard of to not have a garden.
Yeah.
And so now then in the 50s is kind of when the lawn culture got fucking insane, and where people are insane about their lawns. It's completely. I hate it so much.
I can dig
yeah.
it. Hey, there's nothing. I
Because
totally
you
understand.
said about like we have these little things out back. I'm like, you have a whole you have a farm right there.
I know. It'd be great. I mean,
I would absolutely love to just be driving down the street and one of them instead of grass is just full
It's just
corn
corn.
stalks. Yeah.
I mean, my landlord would probably have something to say about that. That's why I do those.
It would make his soil better.
Hey, there you go. I'll have
As long as you
I'll
get that
have to bring it up
rotation
to her.
pattern down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For me, I'm doing. I'm now in the improv group, something Dada, which is at the Lakewood Beck Center. We normally play on Saturday evenings. We do short form improv comedy. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's just improv. And then
I love that distinction.
it happens. So we're doing that. The album Try Harder is in its editing stage right now. And we'll probably be recording the album in August. So hopefully by September, I am opening for Psycho Stick at the Agora, August 24th. And I'm also opening for Froggy Fresh on September 6th at the Beachland Ballroom. You can get your tickets online whenever you can find tickets at. I think Ticket Web maybe. You can follow me, Mayor Wertz, at pretty much anything. And then, give us an email, the Plucking Petals Podcast at gmail.com. And rate, subscribe, like, tell someone about it, and I think that's about it. John, thank you so much for being on the
This
podcast.
is a podcast. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Once again, this has been the Plucking Petal Podcast with James and Kyle. As always, I'm Kyle.
I want to marry my bed.
Have a good day.